My people, gist dey o. And this one day scatter the whole of Instagram right now. E be like say this Sonia and Maurice matter never finish, and I get the full package for una, and don't miss any part of this video because if you so you will regret missing it. The air was thick with laughter, emojis flying across the screen like confetti, and fans were having the time of their lives watching their beloved Nollywood stars banter back and forth during what seemed like just another casual Instagram live session. Sonia Uche was glowing, her smile radiant as she engaged with thousands of viewers who had tuned in to catch a glimpse of their favorite actress in her most relaxed, unfiltered state. The mood was light, the vibes were immaculate, and absolutely nobody, not a single soul, could have predicted that Mama Ebere was about to drop a verbal atomic bomb that would send shockwaves rippling through the entire Nigerian entertainment industry. You know that moment when your auntie is telling funny childhood stories at a family gathering and then suddenly switches gears to expose someone's deepest secret right there in front of everybody? Yeah, that's exactly what happened, except this time it wasn't at a family gathering, it was broadcast live to hundreds of thousands of people watching in real time, screen recording everything for posterity. Mama Ebere, the veteran actress whose presence commands respect and whose words carry the weight of decades of experience in Nollywood, had joined the live session looking radiant and motherly as always. She exchanged pleasantries with Sonia, complimented her beauty, made a few jokes that had everyone in the comment section typing laugh out loud in rapid succession, and everything seemed perfectly normal. But then, as if guided by some ancestral force that compels our African mothers to speak truth at the most unexpected moments, Mama Ebere's tone shifted ever so slightly. Her eyes took on that knowing look that every Nigerian recognizes, the look your mother gives you right before she's about to deliver a life lesson you didn't ask for but desperately need to hear. The chat slowed down as viewers sensed something significant was about to unfold, and in that pregnant pause, Mama Ebere opened her mouth and said something that would become the most quoted, reshared, and debated statement in Nollywood social media history for weeks to come. With the calmness of someone who has absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain by speaking her truth, Mama Ebere began to speak about pride, about how fame can inflate egos to dangerous proportions, and about how some people in the industry have become so blinded by their own perceived importance that they fail to recognize genuine blessings when they are standing right in front of them. Her voice remained gentle, almost grandmotherly, but every word landed with the precision of a seasoned warrior who knows exactly where to strike for maximum impact. She talked about young men who allow social media validation and public adoration to convince them that they are too important for real love, too successful for commitment, too elevated for the very people who supported them before the fame arrived. The viewers were captivated, their fingers frozen over their keyboards as they hung on every syllable, wondering who exactly Mama was referring to and whether this was about to become the messiest, most dramatic celebrity call-out of the year. Then came the moment that sent the internet into absolute pandemonium. Mama Ebere, with the subtlety of a sledgehammer wrapped in velvet, made it crystal clear without explicitly saying his name that she was talking about Maurice Sam. She spoke about certain young actors who had been blessed with extraordinary women in their lives, women of substance, beauty, talent, and genuine character, but who had chosen to treat these blessings as if they were disposable, as if good women grew on trees and could be plucked whenever convenient. She mentioned how some men don't realize what they have until it's gone, how pride makes them believe they can do better when in reality they've already been given the best. The reference was unmistakable to anyone who had been following the subtle drama, the cryptic post, and the conspicuous absence of couple content between Maurice Sam and Sonia Uche that had characterized recent months. Mama wasn't playing games, she wasn't speaking in riddles too complex to decode, she was delivering a masterclass in how to call someone out while technically maintaining plausible deniability. The comment section exploded into chaos that would make a fireworks factory look tame by comparison. Fans were typing so fast their thumbs were probably filing for workers' compensation, with comments ranging from "Mama said what needed to be said," to "Not Mama dragging Maurice on live TV," to "Sonia's face right now is sending me." The energy had completely transformed from casual celebrity hangout to front row seats at the most dramatic family intervention ever broadcast. Screen recordings were being made, clips were being edited, and within literal minutes, not hours, not even half an hour, but minutes, the footage was circulating across every social media platform known to humanity. Twitter was on fire, Instagram was melting down, TikTok creators were already adding dramatic background music and zoom-in effects, and YouTube bloggers were scrambling to be the first to upload reaction videos with titles in all caps and at least 7 fire emojis. Meanwhile, Sonia Uche's reaction became an instant meme template that would be used in Nigerian social media discourse for months afterward. She tried, she really, genuinely tried, to maintain her composure, to laugh it off as if Mama Ebere had just made another harmless joke about the weather or the traffic in Lagos. But the camera doesn't lie, and every viewer with functioning eyes could see the exact moment her smile faltered, the microsecond when her brain processed what had just been said and connected all the dots. Her laughter became slightly nervous. Her hand moved almost imperceptibly to adjust her hair in that universal gesture people make when they are suddenly uncomfortable but trying not to show it, and her posture shifted from relaxed to subtly defensive. She attempted to redirect the conversation, to steer the live stream back to safer waters, but it was too late. The damage was done, the tea had been spilled, and there was no putting that genie back in the bottle. Viewers were already taking screenshots of her facial expressions, creating side-by-side comparison images with captions like "Before Mama Spoke" versus "After Mama Spoke" that would rack up thousands of likes and shares. What made Mama Ebere's intervention even more powerful was that she didn't stop at just one pointed comment. She elaborated, she expanded, she made absolutely certain that everyone understood the depth of her message. She spoke about how the entertainment industry has a way of distorting people's values, making them prioritize public perception over private happiness, Instagram likes over genuine connection, and maintaining an image over maintaining meaningful relationships. She talked about young people who chase after what looks good on paper, what sounds impressive when you're telling your friends about it, what photographs well for social media, rather than what actually fits your soul and brings you peace. Her words resonated not just with people interested in celebrity gossip, but with anyone who has ever watched someone they care about make foolish decisions based on pride, anyone who has ever seen potential thrown away because someone was too stubborn to appreciate what they had while they had it. The beautiful thing about Mama Ebere's approach, and what separated this from typical celebrity drama, was that she framed everything as a teaching moment rather than just pure shade throwing. She positioned herself not as someone trying to embarrass Maurice Sam for entertainment value, but as a concerned elder in the industry who had watched this pattern play out too many times and felt compelled to speak up. She invoked the wisdom of experience, the perspective that comes from decades of navigating relationships both personal and professional in an industry that can be incredibly fickle and unforgiving. She reminded viewers that careers can be rebuilt, public images can be rehabilitated, and social media followers come and go, but when you lose someone who genuinely loved you, who supported you before the fame, who saw your potential when you were nobody, that's a loss that no amount of success can compensate for. The gravity of her words cut through the noise of internet gossip and touched something deeper, something more universal about human nature and the mistakes we make when ego overrides common sense. Within hours, the Nollywood community began to weigh in, and the overwhelming response was support for Mama Ebere's bold stance. Fellow actors and actresses, particularly those who had been in the industry long enough to understand the dynamics she was addressing, praised her courage in speaking publicly about issues that many people discuss only in private WhatsApp groups and behind closed doors. Several veteran actors shared cryptic Instagram stories with quotes about speaking truth to power, about not being silenced by fear of offending people, about the responsibility of elders to guide younger generations even when that guidance is uncomfortable. Some of Sonia's close friends in the industry posted messages of support that, while not explicitly mentioning the live stream incident, were clearly timed to show solidarity. The message was clear. Mama Ebere had said what many people in Nollywood had been thinking, what many had witnessed firsthand, and what needed to be addressed regardless of whose feelings got hurt in the process. The silence from Maurice Sam's corner was deafening and somehow more telling than any statement could have been. In an age where celebrities respond to rumors within hours, where PR teams craft carefully worded statements to address controversies before they spiral out of control, Maurice's complete radio silence spoke volumes. No Instagram story denying the allegations, no tweet clarifying the situation, no statement from his management team, just absolute, total silence. This only fueled speculation further because, as any Nigerian would tell you, when someone is accused of something and they don't immediately and vehemently deny it, people assume there must be some truth to it. The blogs had a field day analyzing his silence, with some interpreting it as guilt, others as strategic avoidance, and still others as evidence that he was simply too proud to address what he considered beneath him. His most recent Instagram posts, which had nothing to do with the drama, were flooded with comments referencing Mama Ebere's statements, proving that no matter how much he tried to ignore the situation, the internet was not going to let him forget it. The incident sparked broader conversations about relationships in the entertainment industry and the unique pressures that come with dating in the public eye. Fans began sharing their own stories about watching friends or family members lose good partners because fame went to their heads, because they started believing their own hype, because they convinced themselves they could do better when they had already won the lottery. Relationship experts and social commentators weighed in on social media, using the Maurice-Sonia situation as a case study for discussing ego, pride, and the importance of humility regardless of your level of success. Think pieces were written, podcasts devoted entire episodes to analyzing the dynamics, and suddenly what had started as Nollywood gossip had evolved into a genuine cultural conversation about values, priorities, and what truly matters in life. The fact that a 60-second clip from an Instagram live could generate such extensive discourse proved just how much the topic resonated with people's real-life experiences. Mama Ebere's words particularly resonated with women who had experienced similar situations, being with someone during their struggle phase, supporting their dreams, celebrating their success, only to watch them trade up or trade out once they achieved a certain level of fame or fortune. The comment sections under various posts about the incident became virtual support groups where women shared stories that were sometimes heartbreaking, sometimes infuriating, but always relatable. They talked about men who became different people after getting a promotion, after moving to a bigger city, after their business took off, after their follower count hit a certain milestone. They discussed the unique pain of watching someone you invested in emotionally choose to share their success with someone else, someone who contributed nothing to their journey but showed up conveniently when the harvest was ready. Mama Ebere had tapped into something deeply familiar to many people, which is why her message spread far beyond just Nollywood fan circles into mainstream social media consciousness. The psychological aspect of what Mama Ebere described, the way pride can blind people to genuine blessings, is something that life coaches and therapists have been discussing for years, but hearing it articulated so plainly by a respected elder gave it different weight. She essentially diagnosed a spiritual and emotional ailment that affects many people who experience sudden success or increased social status. They begin to believe that they deserve better than what they have, that their elevated circumstances require them to upgrade everything in their lives including the people they're with. This mindset is toxic not just to relationships but to the person holding it, because it creates a perpetual state of dissatisfaction where nothing and nobody is ever good enough. The irony, which Mama Ebere subtly highlighted, is that this pursuit of better often leads people to end up with far worse, or worse yet, alone and eventually realizing what they had lost when it's too late to recover it. Her intervention was essentially a warning shot to Maurice and everyone else caught in this trap: wake up before you lose something irreplaceable while chasing something imaginary. The beauty of what Mama Ebere accomplished is that she transformed the potential moment of frivolous gossip into a genuine teaching opportunity that will be remembered and referenced long after the specific drama fades from memory. She reminded everyone watching that our actions have consequences, that how we treat people matters, and that success means nothing if we lose our humanity in the pursuit of it. Her words were a mirror held up to anyone who has ever let pride guide their decisions, and the reflection was uncomfortable for many people, which is exactly why it was necessary. In a world that often celebrates superficial achievement and encourages people to constantly trade up in every area of life, Mama Ebere stood as a voice of reason reminding us that some things, once lost, can never be replaced regardless of how much success we achieve afterward. So the question now isn't whether Mama Ebere was right to speak up. The overwhelming support she received answered that definitively. The real question is whether anyone actually learned from her lesson, whether Maurice, Sam or anyone else in similar situations will humble themselves before it's too late, or whether this will simply become another viral moment that people enjoy, discuss, and then forget about while continuing to make the same mistakes. Will we see genuine change in how young celebrities approach relationships, or will the next person with rising fame make the exact same error in judgment that Mama just warned against? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: Mama Ebere Okero said what she said, the internet heard what they heard, and nobody involved in that live stream, not Maurice, not Sonia, not any viewer, will ever forget the day a beloved veteran actress decided that enough was enough and delivered a wake-up call that shook the entire industry. If you found this whole saga as fascinating as we did, make sure you're following for more exclusive tea from Nollywood, and drop a comment below telling us whether you think Maurice will ever publicly respond to Mama's legendary call-out, because something tells us this story is far from over. Please share and subscribe.